morning, everybody. This is Jackie at Not My Fitness, and welcome to Total Glutes plus Core Pilates Fusion. It is Monday, May 4th, 2020. In this particular format, we have 4 blocks. It's a glute and core focus, as is indicated by the title of this particular format. And so we alternate between. You can take this and stack it with any of our other programs, just about, and you could stack it with our total upper body plus core Pilates fusion as well. So that's another option. Those would work really well together. The other flexibility that you have here is that you can repeat the entire series 2 and 3 times, or you could take a block and isolate it and just repeat that block again. So entirely up to you how you want to proceed. Warm up before, so I'm going to leave that up to you. Tons of warm-ups out there, and we have over 60 videos out there right now, so feel free to use one of those warm-ups to get yourself prepared. And then the same thing will apply to cool-down stretch. And so I'm just going to give you the program. It's about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll move right from one exercise to the other in each block. I'm not repeating any of these exercises, so you get one set of each. And what we'll be doing is using a little bit of equipment. I am going to use a kettlebell or dumbbell, a heavy one, for sumo squats, as well as a supine hip extension with one leg elevated. And then I'm also using a cuff tubing, so that's a Velcro cuff or a regular tubing or a spry band. So I'm going to use that as well. Okay, so we're going to get started here. I'm going to walk out of the frame for 1 second and grab a cuff tubing. And like I said, you could use a spry band instead if that is not available for you. Okay, so we are going to actually begin with a cuff. So I'm going to have a seat, slip that on. And this is going to be a standing hip extension exercise. And so you'll probably need something to hold on to. So some kind of support. Could hold on to, a step or the wall, ballet bar, any of those are just fine. Okay, and so I'm going to hold on here to my body bar rack, okay? Turn a little bit so you can see me. So you want to keep your inside supported leg. You want to think of that as your anchor leg. It shouldn't be moving at all. Slight bend there though in the knee joint, and we're going to press straight back and in. So we're going to keep our hip, knee, and ankle joint all lined up, all facing forward. No movement here in the lower back. And you just want to really focus on using glute max. And of course, gluteus medius and minimus and the other side. So nice glute exercise. And as I mentioned in pre-class, you can always come back around and perform this particular block again. Or you could even stay here and perform another set and just pause or rewind the video in order to do that. So biggest muscle in your body, but also nose to toes core engagement. Couple more, back and in, and last one, back and in. Good. Then I'm going to turn, face the other way, just so you can kind of see it from this perspective. So again, shoulders, hips, knees, and toes all facing forward. That non-working side, just your stabilizing side, slight bend at the knee, and press straight back. So we always want to keep tubing taut. Now if you don't have access to tubing here, you can stand and do a hip extension without. You won't get near the benefit from it, but you will get some work. And you could also come onto elbows and knees and tuck a dumbbell behind the knee and perform it in that fashion as well. What I love about the standing position is it works both our stabilizers and mobilizers simultaneously. And of course, those stabilizers include everything nose to toes core and back. Good. Exhale and inhale. Press back and in, and a couple more. Back and in, and last one. Back and in. Good. All right. And then we're going to slip that off. Just put that aside because we will use it again. And this is going to be sumo squats. So The biggest difference between a traditional squat and sumo is the foot position. So in a traditional squat, all 10 toes facing forward, okay? Here we've got external rotation of the femur. And in plie, your tailbone does not go back. In a sumo squat, it does. So we're gonna go back, 2, and then I want you to push into your heels and really squeeze your buttocks together here. Yeah, press straight back and up, inhale and exhale. Quads, hamstrings, glutes, hip abductor, adductor, yeah, and press, sit back, push through the heels, sit it and up, keep shoulders packed down and back, pelvic floor up and in, 4 to go, 4, and drive through, sit back and up, 2, and up, and 1 more, back and up. All right, well done. Let's put that down, and then this will be quadruped hip abduction. Don't need any external load for this, just gonna use body weight. So let's come down on the left elbow and bring the right arm out, knees directly underneath your hips. Let's bring this right leg up, press out, pull in and down. Really imperative that the leg fully extends here and does not go behind the body, but out to the side. So if you're unable to achieve that, then just lift and lower the leg rather than extending, okay? One or the other. So working the outer upper hip muscles here. And again, both sides, this side as mobilizer, other side as stabilizer, yeah? Up, out, in, and down. Up, out, in, 2 more. Up, out, in, and last one, up, out, in, and down. And release. All right, let's switch your sides. So I'm just gonna turn and face this way. Right elbow down, left arm out, left hip's the side we're working. So up, push, pull, and close. Just nice big range of motion. So either that full range, yes, or just up and down. Okay. Lift, push, pull, and close. Up, out, in, and down. Lift, push, pull. Good, good. Up, out, in, 4 to go. Head and neck in neutral. Yes, up, out, in. 2 more. Up, out, in. Final 1, and up, out, in, and down. All right, nice work. Okay, so we're going to come on over to your back, and we're going to perform some long lever curls, rotations, and then a combination. And the reason we use long lever is because it's a lot more challenging for the abdominal muscles here. So, legs in tabletop. I'm going to rest my head in my left hand, and I'm going to bring my right arm back with my torso, okay? And I'm going to lift up and back. So my tabletop legs are maintained. Lift up and control, compress and resist. Lift it up and back, compress and control, exhale and inhale and lift. 4 to go. Rib cage to hip bone. Pulling in deeply here. Good, 2. And then switch arms and continue. And it's up and back. Head, neck, shoulders come along for the ride. Lift it up and resist. Exhale and inhale. Compress and control. Up and back. Good, lift and fight that lengthening of the muscle. 4 to go. 4 and lift, keeping pelvis in neutral. 2 and 1 more. Up and back. Take a little breather. All right, we're going to add some direction with that now. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll come up and across and back, and then up and across. So the arm stays with the torso, but we alternate sides. and really start integrating oblique. Lead with shoulder, rotate from waistline, yeah. Out and back, exhale and inhale, rotate and resist, compress and control, across and back, and once more, across and back. Good job. Okay, now both arms are going to stay out. If you have a tender neck, you can always support the head with one of your hands. Otherwise, we're going to have both of these arms up over the head, and this is going to be right center, left center, reverse curl. So right and center, left and center. Again, right and center, left and center. 2 more times around, right and center, left and center. Last time through, right and center, left and center, and release. All right, excellent work, you guys. Rock and roll up or roll to the side to get up, and I believe we're going to need our cuff again here. So we're going to get that on. We're kind of doing a superset today for hip abductors. So this is going to be supine hip abduction. I usually mention whenever we're working with tubing around the ankles, be careful when you go to get back up and take that off, because sometimes it'll cause your shoes to untie. Okay? All right, so we're going to be on our back, and I like to slip my hands underneath the hips for this. It just boosts the hips a little bit, helps to keep those legs safely up over the hip joint. Make sure that the tubing stays taut throughout, shoulders packed down, rib cage lifted, navel to spine, pelvic floor up and in. And let's take it out, 2, and in, 2. Out, 2, and in, 2. Keeping abdomen compressed. That's it. So working bilaterally here for our hip abductors, whereas in our quadruped position, we were doing that unilaterally. And it's important to do both. To have unilateral and bilateral work in your programs, to work across all 3 planes of your body. Yes, and all 5 primary movement patterns involved as well. And let's go 4 more, and it's 4, and resist, and press, and couple more, out, 2, and in, and last one, out, 2, in, 2. Good job. Keep it on if you have a cuff or spray band, and come on up into a standing position with it. This is going to be a Frankenstein walk, so we're going to use the resistance in the tubing. Again, if you don't have it, just keep yourself kind of low and really engaged here. So what you're going to do is take a step, take a step, take a step, take a step, and then reverse it. That's it. 3, 4. Bring it up, keeping the tension in the tubing if you have it. Yeah, and back. 2, 3, 4, and up. Keeping the pressure out there, keeping those hip abductors engaged, and back. 2, 3, 4, up. 2, 3, and back. 2, 3. Couple more rounds. Forward. 2. Just an excellent exercise for hip abductors, and back. 2, 3. One more round. 2, 3, 4, and back. Gluteus medius minimus, yeah? And last one. Good job. All right. And you can go ahead and remove that cuff or spray band if you have one on. Then you're going to need your heavy dumbbell or kettle. We're going to come down to the floor, and we're going to perform a unilateral hip extension. So unilateral just means one side at a time. And so we'll come down, place that load on the hips, and extend that left leg up, and we're going to lift straight up and down. Almost touch, but not quite. Now, what you can do to add a little bit more intensity is to allow the leg to lower as you lift. Yeah, so when you're down, it's up. When you're up, it's down. Yeah, and lift. Watch the low back on this one, guys, particularly if you've got external load. Drive through because it's going to really go after the glutes and hamstrings on that right side. Down and up, the pelvis in neutral, 2, and 1 more, and up. Good, and release. Okay, and switching sides. And get it going first. It's a good idea just to get the hip extension going. Yeah, and lift. So up and down, yeah? That's it. Hips up as leg goes down. Good. We'll go 4, 3, 2, and 1 more, and lower. And dump that dumbbell off. All right, nice work, you guys. Okay, I believe we're going to be here on the floor, and this is going to be a side bridge, and we're simply going to be holding this one. So you're just going to find a spot where you can have your elbow directly underneath your shoulder. And legs can be bottom knee down, legs tandem or stacked. And we're simply going to hold. It's nice just to do a static version of this exercise. We do so much moving with it. Just really keeping shoulders packed, squeeze the buttocks tight, pull your pelvic floor up and in. And just breathe here, guys, yeah? About 10 more seconds on this side. Holding strong. Good, and we'll count 4, 3, 2, use that top hand to lower yourself safely back down and switch sides. This is one of those positions that you want to be very careful coming in and out of. You don't want to fall from that side bridge position because it can hurt the shoulder, okay? All right, find your position, knee down, legs tandem or stacked, and hold. And again, focus here on squeezing buttocks, pulling from the bottom side of the torso, keeping the chest open, yeah? And just hold. Using that breath, staying strong, staying focused. About 10 more seconds, guys. Holding. Good. And we'll count 4, 3, 2. Use that top hand and lower yourself back down. Okay. Downward facing dog to plank. All right. And that's all we're going to do. We're not going to add a push-up to it or anything else. Yeah, it's just downward facing dog to plank and back again. All right? Okay. All right, so first find your plank and really establish that. Shoulders packed, rib cage lifted, navel to spine. And then walk back into downward facing dog. And right back into plank. Yeah. Walk it back and back into plank. Good. Walk it back and back into plank. And bring it back and back into plank. Let's do that a couple more rounds here. Walk it back and back into plank. And one more. Walk it back and back into plank. Good. One knee down and the other. Then we're going to come down onto our back, and this is going to be jackknife. So, why we have it entitled Glutes plus Core Pilates Fusion, because a lot of what we perform in our Pilates programs are included in here. We're just really isolating certain body parts, yeah, to give you some flexibility and variety. Rest your head in your right hand. Now this is going to be long lever on 2 fronts. Make sure that the arm stays with torso, leg moves independently. So up and back. Exhale and inhale. Keep the leg rigid. So that's the lengthening aspect, yeah. Strengthening in core. Yeah, up and back. Exhale and inhale, compress and control and lift. That's it. Fight that lengthening as you come back, guys. Up and back. 2 more, then we're going to switch sides. Up and back and switch and again. Flex up, control back. Leg moves independently. Leg nice and rigid. Arm stays with torso. Yeah, up and back. And really focusing on keeping that pelvis in neutral. Shoulders packed down. Using your breath. And up and back. Excellent. Lift and resist. Up and control. Up and back. And 1 more. Lift and back. All right. Great job, you guys. Rock and roll it on up. And that is our program today. So you had your standing hip extension with the cuff. You had your sumo squats, quadruped hip abduction, long lever curls, rotations in right center, left center, supine hip abduction with the cuff, Frankenstein walk, supine hip extension with the 1 leg that lift and lowered, side bridge, downward facing dog to plank, and jackknife. And so again, you can take that and go back and repeat it 2 or 3 more times, or choose one of those blocks and perform it 2 or 3 more times. Stack it with any of our other many formats. Thank you so much, you guys. It's always a pleasure. Great job today, and have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much.